This is everything you need to know about tomorrow's update. Now, earlier today, I uploaded a video where I talked about how important tomorrow's update is because it's actually a very large update for LEGO Fortnite. And again, as I mentioned in earlier's video, that doesn't have to do with content actually releasing into the game, it has everything to do with the files and what we can learn from them. Now, while I mentioned that it wasn't a clickbait video and that you needed to watch it, a lot of people still called it clickbait. But understand, tomorrow's update is huge for LEGO Fortnite because we're going to find out all of the leaks that we need to know about our content update that releases on March 11th, which is absolutely huge. That's some pretty good news for us going into tomorrow, is that we are actually getting some changes done to Odyssey as far as improvements in quality of life changes as well as bug fixes. And although I know a lot of people aren't too interested in Brick Life right now as it's in its very early stages, they're also getting themselves some improvements, quality of life changes, and some bug fixes, which is good overall for all of us, knowing that they're really working on every single one of these modes. One of the first big changes that's happening tomorrow is that we're getting a returning feature, which is actually that players can now rename our villages and our barn animals. Now, if you guys remember, this only lasted 3 days before, and that's because people were making inappropriate names for their animals and for their villages. This time around, I encourage every single one of you, if you want this to remain in the game, please keep it family friendly. Do not make your name anything too crazy. We also have a pretty long list of bug fixes here, which is very important for any future content updates because we need to get the bugs out of the way now. That way we can have a very smooth content release. So let's talk about the ones that were actually fixed and how much these actually kind of affected us. The first one is that resolved a couple of lag issues that were appearing in the game. They're still working on some other detected lag issues and will strive to improve the stability of the game. A very important one nonetheless, because a lot of us deal with lag when it comes to fighting the Storm King, going into the dungeons, and a lot of you guys know when it comes to driving or flying in any of your vehicles. I don't think that that's going to be fixed in tomorrow's update, but hopefully that's one of the ones that they are working on. They also have something about when you guys log out of your created world, you receive a network error. Not the biggest deal in the entire world that we see that. The quest Board the Battle Bus can now be completed accordingly. Again, not the biggest deal in the world. The season is almost over, and I'm sure a lot of us have already got all of our quests done. Correct weapons are now dropping from the supply drops, and they have appropriate textures when opening inventory. If you guys remember, I dropped a YouTube short where I talked about some of the rarest weapons and tools in the game, and those were gem and different type of metal pickaxes and weapons. And now it looks like that's going to be removed, and they're actually going to appear the way that they should. They resolved an issue with mobile players being soft locked when opening the Village Square menu, fixed an issue where Raven combat music was not playing in the game, resolved an issue where the compass was missing in created sandbox worlds, fixed an issue where they built boom barrels were not traveling smoothly when thrown, and resolved an issue where all Eye of the Storm were consumed by a portal if multiple players deposited them at the same time. The temperature in the Dry Valley will now update with the time of the day, and the passive crafting stations should no longer restart when closing and reopening the station's menu. Now, I will say that there's definitely some bugs, issues, and things that need to be fixed that weren't listed in today's patch notes. We do know about some of the lag when it comes to flying and driving around in vehicles. I hope that Epic is obviously working on a fix for that in some way, shape, or form. When it comes to playing Battle Royale, they don't have that issue, so I don't see why it's not possible to fix that when it comes to LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. On top of that, you guys know that destruction no longer works when you guys are fighting the Storm King. When you guys use destruction on your crossbow or your melee weapons and you try to fight him, you're no longer going to get one-shot chances or any type of chance to one-shot the respawners when you guys are fighting against him. The best bet right now is using thermal detonators, but I could definitely see them patching that very soon, and may even be a secret change that happens in a future update. So these patches aren't perfect, but but they obviously are always a step in the right direction because any fixes that get done to this game is always going to be positive. Now, we still do have some patch notes to continue to cover, but I do want to remind you guys that Epic typically has some secret patches that happen every single update. And while I do release a video to cover them, I want to remind you guys that I do have the most active LEGO Fortnite Discord server out there. And if you guys are looking to get all of the inside information before my videos release, you could actually join the Discord down in the description below using that Discord link or using the link that I just attached at the top of the comment section to join in. You guys are going to get to see every single secret change that was made way before I actually upload a video on it. And of course, we have some brick life improvements and quality of life changes, but I get it. A lot of you guys dislike the game mode, but I promise in a few updates, this game mode is actually going to be really nice. The first thing that they did was they added a brand new job in Brick Bay where you could talk to Sunflower, become a city gardener, and complete new challenges such as watering, planting flowers and plants, and more. Rainy weather is coming to the city, so be on the lookout as it can occasionally rain, so bring an umbrella with you. The time of day lighting has been adjusted to better match the game clock, the housing decor limit has been increased to 250, and they added a dirty effect on players which can be removed by washing their hands, using the shower, or cleaning themselves through other means. Now let's talk about some of the bug fixes that were made. First, they fixed an issue that caused cats to get stuck inside of Churro at the cat cafe. They fixed an issue where players were unable to nudge decorations forward and backwards while decorating. Also, players who were disconnected while playing the vampire infection minigame can leave the minigame without any issue now. They resolved an issue in the infection zone where the game Notify was played every time the players went in or out of the zone, and players can now interact with the Heart Wand dispenser without experiencing issues. And finally, they fixed an issue where some players were experiencing rubber banding. So overall, some really solid and clean quality of life changes made to this game mode. Now, I'm not complaining about the changes made to LEGO Fortnite Brick Life, but it's almost funny that we didn't get the dirt changes made into our Odyssey worlds first, because it just makes a little bit more sense. We're going into caves, we're running around in the grass, we're fighting the Storm King with storm sickness, we're going into dungeons and fighting in there. We should be constantly dirty, and we've had the ability to shower, bathe, wash our hands, and even use the toilet for months now. How cool would it be if they actually made this change and put it into Odyssey as well? So after you fought the Storm King, you had to clean off the storm sickness, or after you left the cave, you had to clean off any of the dust and the mud that came from inside of a dirty cave. I don't know, it just seems like something that maybe it doesn't affect us in a negative way at all, but it is just something that's funny. You just get to see a little bit of dirt on your players while you're actually playing with them. Let me know what you guys think of these updates and changes down in the comment section below. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and as always guys, this was Crafty, and I'm out. Peace. Help me reach 50,000 subscribers by pressing that sub button in the top right. And if you guys haven't already, check out that video in the top left. YouTube thinks that you'll like it a lot. Peace.